Hello everybody and welcome back to the Insane Wizards playthrough of Wizard101. In the last episode we got our character made, Mr. Kono Wintergem right here. Look at that handsome face. Look at that friggin' handsome face. And in this episode we are going to be finishing Unicorn Way. Yes, it's actually not that long of an area, so I can do it in one episode. Most of the Wizard City areas are like that. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk to Olivia Dunwillow here.
Do you think you could help me, young wizard?
Okay, apparently the fade out was intentional. Good to know.
Skeletal pirates are looting all the houses on Unicorn Way. They're not so dangerous individually, but in numbers they can't be stopped. Please drive them out.
Again, please update the faces, KI. Please. And I'm also going to go back and talk to Private Connolly because he's got a quest for me as well. I'm doing these side quests just so I can be, as I stated in the last episode, so I can be level 5 before I leave Unicorn Way because I want to do that.
You got a minute? I'm worried. I haven't seen my friend Private Orion in a while. We both grew up here, you see, and he just wanted to make sure the skeletal pirates hadn't gotten into his old house.
Ooh.
He could be trapped in the house, but I can't leave my post. Please find him and help him get back to safety.
Alright then. By the way, whenever you have two quests that require you to defeat the same enemies, whenever you defeat one enemy, it will count for both, meaning, and I'm saying that because this one will eventually lead to us having to defeat skeletal pirates. So that's a good thing to know. And oh. And if you have a defeat and collect quest, you can also get items from defeating them no matter what quest you actually have as your tracky thing down at the bottom of the screen here. The reason why I'm in my dorm room is because I have some stuff in the shared bank that I want to grab here. Well, for one, a lot of this stuff because I want it for money. And I accidentally grabbed something that I did not want to take out of there. Put that back in there. Grab the rest of this stuff because, again, I want my money. Yeah, I need to keep that in there. Keep that in there. And everything else we can grab. Keep all of this in here, although this might come in handy later on. I don't even know why I have it in here or why I originally bought it. Need to move this into there. Need to hurry up and level up my mess so I can use that. Don't need these. Don't need any of the. Don't need either of these. Let's leave that there because I don't want that. I don't really want that spell. And here we're going to be getting a mount. Mounts basically speed up your movement speed, which, given how big some of the areas in this game can be, is fairly friggin' useful. So, in this case, I'm going to be going with the blue dragon, mount thing. Because I just think it looks fitting for an ice. And, I will go sell my crap off screen. I just figured I'd pick it up right now. Well, actually, I might as well go sell it now and just leave it for later because money be important, ladies and gentlemen. Money be important. Why do I always make words like that? Make up words like that or sentences like that or whatever. I am weird. They say that teenagers really don't know what's coming out of their mouth, and I am inclined to agree, even though I'm only 2 years away from not being a teenager anymore. Anyway, let's sell some crap. Basically sell everything because I really don't need this. That is stupid. In that case, I'll just kind of trash it. Same with that. That is stupid. Why is this even no auction anyway? This gives nothing useful, so why make it no auction? Anyways, sell all of this, because I don't want to be holding on to this stuff for 4 friggin' worlds. And even then, it's not what I would want to use later on anyway. click on the darn thing. Thank you. That was dumb. Anyway, back to Unicorn Way we go. Excuse me. Burping and recording. How unprofessional can I get? Anyway, as you can see, we're going a heck of a lot faster now, which thank God for that, because if we weren't, then going around places would take for friggin' ever. Wait. Now, as far as getting mounts goes, you can buy them with gold, but the amount of mounts that you can buy with gold is very few and far between. There are a few bosses that drop permanent mounts, but not very many. And that basically leaves the only reliable place to get them being the crown shop, which is where you use real life money to buy things. Usually they're things like mounts, which usually they're things that are like usually they're things that don't really help you as much as other things you can get through grinding bosses or stuff like that. Either that or they're cosmetic, like most mounts. And even with the mounts that do have stats, like this mini mammoth mount here, they're not overly useful, and you're not going to be hurting too much if you don't have this. As for other gear you can get, there are a few things in here that give you stats, but they're nowhere near as useful as the stuff you can grind out of bosses. So, generally speaking, if you want good gear, go for grinding dungeon bosses rather than trying to buy them. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk to Mr. Orion.
Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? It's good to be back in my old house now that I've cleared it of skeletal pirates. Unfortunately, now there are too many outside. I'm stuck. If you defeat enough of those skeletal pirates, I can make a run for it. You'd be a lifesaver.
If you were able to get them outside, you could have just bashed your way through them. Whatever. Anyway, let's get some combats in, because this episode has been going a bit too long without that stuff. Alright, this one has 80 health, so it's entirely possible that our Frost Beetle won't one-shot it. But if that's the case, then I'll just wand hit the thing. I guess I should explain item cards. Item cards are usually stuff you get from, like, pieces of gear or your pet. And they are spells that are... And they are spells that you can only... And item cards are only usable if you have that piece of gear equipped. If you don't have it equipped, you ain't using that piece of gear. The cards that actually have like a color and look kind of ragged or something like that are spells that you have permanently learned, and you will be able to use them so long as you put them in your deck. Treasure cards are one-time use cards that go away completely after you use them, as opposed to being re-put in your deck after every battle. And in terms of like power or something like that, they're usually the equivalent of item cards in that they're a bit more powerful than stuff you permanently learn, but later on you're not going to find much use for the damaging ones. So there you go. As for other type, trying to think here of stuff I can talk about that's actually relating to the game here. Well, I can talk about how annoyed I am that does not keep doing the maximum amount of damage when other spells clearly do the maximum amount of damage. That's actually a thing. Early on in the game, how much damage a spell does within its varying range, you can actually tell how much damage it's going to do based on the animation. I'm not going to go over every animation because I don't remember them all, but generally speaking, the more damaging it seems to the enemy, the more damage it will do. Like for instance, the highest damaging one for the Ice Beetle is it digging into the ground and popping up beneath the enemy, and the one for the Fire Cat is the one where it pounces on you, obviously. And there are a few early game spells that have the same animation no matter how much damage they do, like the the rank 1 death spell, Dark Sprite. But it's not overly a big deal. Later on, they completely get rid of that thing, and it's just a varying damage amount. I don't know why. They decided to do it in the first place, considering it's just really not that necessary. And also later on, there are a few spells that actually have a set damage limit, and the only way you can change it is through gear stats, obviously. If they had no way to change it at all, then those spells would be completely useless after like 5 levels or so. Anyway, most of the enemies in this place aren't really all that bad. The worst they have access to is usually the most damaging spell they have access to is their natural attack, which is the one where they themselves appear in the middle of the circle and just kind of do something to damage you. It varies depending on the enemy, obviously. Darn it. What I'm doing here is actually a very good method of getting out of a battle. You don't want to be in without wasting your mana, because if you want to just flee from the battle, you have to spend your mana. And go away, you stupid fairy! I don't want to fight you. I don't. Alright, let's give it some time to just walk away. Okay, thank God. I wanted to fight the skeletal pirate, not a dark fairy again. Anyway, as I was saying, there are spells that do set some amount of damage. Usually those are damage over time spells. There are a few, which, most of the time with damage over time spells, they do one hit, and then the bulk of their damage will come from 3 consecutive hits over the next 3 rounds, which is useful, but most of the time but if you want to specialize the damage over time, you're going for fire. That's just how things are. Every school except for Storm and Balance get a damage over time spell naturally. There are a few like item/treasure card spells that you can never permanently learn that do damage over time for Storm and Balance, but those are very, very, very rare. So, and typically speaking, they're actually not all that good anyway. In terms of what are the best spells for schools, for single player, you're usually sticking to the spells you learn permanently. For multiplayer, same thing. If you're just questing for PvP, I have no idea because I'm not a PvP person. I usually spend most of my time questing and just generally doing other things like that. Anyway, let's talk to Olivia.
Oh, bless you, child. We owe you a debt of gratitude.
Yay, I leveled up. Whenever you level up, you also get a full health restore and a full mana restore as well. Now, the reason why I wanted that ring there is because it gave me 10 extra health, which is useful. Obviously, I want to replace it later on, but hey. In case you're wondering why the quest tracker is pointing just pointing forward, but it says I'm still going farther away. That's because it is glitched out. I don't know why this thing glitches out. Every now and then it just does, and it'll say you're going the right direction, but the distance away from wherever it is you're going will still get farther and farther away. I don't know why it does this, but it does, and King's Isle really needs to fix it. Anyway, let's talk to Mr. Orion.
Thanks for clearing the way, Wizard. I should be able to make it back all right.
In case you can't tell already, even though the text says your own character's first name, the characters never will.
Thanks for checking on me. Tell Private Connolly I'm doing well.
Awesome. Now let's head back to the commons because that's just plain faster. There we go. This way. What level are we now? 3? Awesome. That means we should be level 5 by the time we leave. Very, very good. I don't know why I'm talking like this.
Glad to hear Orion is doing well. Say, can you check up on someone for me? I usually see Dorothy out shopping by now, but I fear she's too afraid to leave home. She's just down the road a bit, and she usually keeps her lights on. She doesn't like all the lost souls roaming around. Can't say that I blame her.
Now, for that quest, we actually got a piece of gear. The Robe of the Blizzard, which gives us +3 resist to ice, which is not overly useful. I would have preferred if it was +3 damage, +3 damage to ice, whether it was just the straight up damage or a percentage, it doesn't really matter to me. I just kind of would prefer if that's what we had gotten. Anyway, let's talk to Saren.
Unicorn Way is swarming with evil fairies? They have been corrupted just as I feared. You couldn't even change them back by defeating them? Oh, that's really bad. Apparently, evil forces at work here in Wizard City. Some dark element has emerged despite Ambrose's attempts to keep us safe. Thank you for letting me know. I must alert the others. My friends always tell me I never leave well enough alone, but this time something foul is afoot, I'm sure of it. You can help me get to the bottom of this curse upon Wizard City. Do you know Lady Oriel, the Seraph? She might understand what happened to the fairies. Speak with her in the hedge maze at the end of Unicorn Way.
Alright, well, I also got a hat for that, which get the Frost Touch Cap, which gives us +2% more resistance to ice, which, again, not really necessary, but whatever. Let's go into here for a second, because I don't remember all the icons for this. Now, there are several types of rewards for completing quests. One of them is obviously experience, which is basically every quest, most of the time. You can also get training points, which is how you learn spells outside of your... which is how you permanently learn spells outside of your own school. And knowing how to spend these is actually really, really important. So, I will be going over what I personally use these on. Obviously, gold you'll get every now and then, which is the basic in-game currency. Aside from crowns, you can buy more gold with crowns, but I don't recommend it. It's not needed at all. Potion bottles, which well, whenever you get potions, you can use them to instantly refill all of your mana and all of your health, which is very useful. Equip various equipment, including pets, spell decks, which the better the deck, the more spells it can hold, treasure cards, and then you can even learn spells from quests, which is going to be very, very, very important. Because the spells you learn from quests are things that only, the spells you learn from quests typically are things only your characters of your own school can learn. I say typically because there are a few instances where every school is going to get the same darn thing, but from a spell quest. But more often than not, it's going to be something unique to your school.
Oh, hello. You say that Private Conley was worried about me? He always does fret so. I'm all right, but I wish someone could do something about all those ghosts outside. Sometimes I wish Auntie Em could join me here. I'd feel better with her around.
The pop culture references are strong with this game, ladies and gentlemen.
Say, I was having my friends over for dinner, but they are running late. I fear for their sake with all those ghosts roaming around. Could you check up on them? My two friends live on this street, down towards the park area. Look for a house with a light on in the window. You can't miss it.
Alright, well, let's quickly go and do this before we go off and talk to Lady Oriel. Actually, I think this has been going on for a rather long time, so once we finish this quest, I will end the episode off. I know I said I wanted to get Unicorn Way done, but at the same time I don't want these episodes going on way too long.
We were just about to be on our way.
Oh, I told you we should have left earlier. Now we've gone and made her worry about us.
Again, the pop culture references are strong.
I'm sorry, but I cannot find my oil can. You wouldn't want me seizing up on the way there.
Punch the joints or something? I don't know. There are other ways to fix a robot's joints than just an oil can, but whatever.
Oh dear, we always go through this. Can you return to Dorothy and tell her we'll be running late as usual?
Whatever, Mr. Dog Person. Flying along, flying along. I'm actually gonna leave a mark here for a reason. Leaving marks is basically just a way you can instantly teleport back to some place that normally you can't teleport to. Which is nice. Kinda wish it didn't cost any mana, but whatever.
They are safe and sound? It's good to know that they are just running late. Now I won't have to worry. I always fear a wicked witch might show up and whisk them back to her castle. This land is so strange. Not like back at the farm, but I do like it here. Headmaster Ambrose is such a nice wizard, and my new friends are nice too. I'd say that in all, this place is as fun as a barrel of flying monkeys.
Ooh.
Would you say hello to Private Connolly for me?
Sure, I guess. This is the reason why I left the mark, because it's just plain faster. Avoid the lost souls. But I really don't want to get into a battle right now. Why do I keep doing that? I don't know why, but I keep doing that whenever I have like nothing to say. Anyway,
Glad to hear Dorothy is doing well.
and that is the last side quest on Unicorn Way. So from now on, it's just story, 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 which is good. For that, we got the Ruby Slippers, which gives us plus 1% resistance to death, which is, again, not really necessary, but whatever. Anyway, I have been the Insane Wizard, and on the next part of Let's Play Wizard101, we shall be actually finishing Unicorn Way. See you then, bye-bye!